and welcome. This is my last layout for this round of For Love of Homemade Kits. I will be joining in next round as well. And this layout is going to be pretty simple, but I'm going to show you some techniques to use when you have maybe not so great photos to go with your story. So what you're going to watch me do here is I am just going to take the geometric pattern paper from my kit, and I'm going to use this geometric paper and some other scraps to create and cut some different sized and different widths strips of paper. The photos that I'm using today are phone photos, and they're not the best. They're very dark. They were from a concert that my husband and son went to, so they're from my husband's phone. But I have journaling that I really want to write, and I also have some ephemera in the form of the ticket stubs. So I really want to tell the story. So for me, the important aspects of this story is the journaling and the ephemera, not necessarily the pictures. And you'll see how I deal with that as I continue to go through this layout. So I want to make this layout very kind of monochromatic. I cut apart that really bright, colorful strips of paper, and I just took out the strips that were teal or the strips that had the music notes on it. And then I'm going to alternate these strips of paper with the geometric pattern that I had, and then I'm also going to grab a scrap piece of paper of that blue aqua paper that also had the yellow feathers on the back, and those were the ones that I think I used that paper on every single one of my layouts this month or for this round. And that is this one. So I'm just going to continue. I'm going to go ahead and alternate the geometric striped paper that I cut up with the other stripes until I get it to a pleasing kind of arrangement or the way I wanted it. So these papers, these photos are of a concert in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, and they were playing all Star Trek music. So I didn't want to make a themey layout with these Star Trek pictures, but I wanted to definitely have some Star Trek kind of elements, and I thought that geometric pattern paper worked really good for that. And I'm also going to use that wood veneer piece right there and color it. This is a mini glassine bag from the Spiegel Mom Scrap Shop, and it fits ticket stubs perfectly, so I would highly recommend grabbing some of those, because it fit my ticket stubs perfectly. And now you can take this ticket stubs in and out. And you'll notice I put the tickets over my photos because, like I said, the photos, not super important, not super great. They're just not really good photos. They're very dark and kind of just a little blurry if you get them up close. So I decided to stamp on this wood veneer with a Felicity Jane stamp, and it says important details. It is a little hard to see, but I think I kind of bring it up on screen. My title's a little hard to see in this layout too on screen, but in real life you can see it. It's very nice. And so it just says important details, and I'm going to add that to the front of my glassine bag. So I really wanted to do a video about this layout simply because I know a lot of us have these stories we want to tell, but the photos aren't that great. And so you'll see here how I handled it. I also wanted to make my title Dream Come True. So my son is a huge Star Trek fan. You have no idea. Like, he is such a huge Star Trek fan. So for him, getting to go and hear all this music, and they played clips of the movies while they played the music, like, it was just such a great experience for him, and he loved it so much. So I wanted to make sure that it was documented and that it was in the scrapbook as something he could look back on, because even though the photos might not be great, he will remember it. So I just wanted something for him to have as a keepsake. So I'm going to take some of this wood veneer and I want to color it. And I want to make it, I'm going to spray it with some shimmers. I sprayed it like this on paper because I thought maybe it would make like a cool background almost that I could use on something else, but it really didn't. And then the wood veneer did this. So I don't know if it was because this wood veneer is really thin, maybe. It's from Studio Calico, but it like curled itself all up. So I laid it down on a craft mat, and I ever so gently, because I didn't want it to break. I've never had a wood veneer do this before, so I kind of like unrolled it and put some glue on it, and then I glued it down. And this was probably the most time-consuming part of this layout because I actually held it there till the glue kind of dried, and even then it was wanting to kind of pop up. So I kind of, I just was adding glue wherever it would pop up and then kind of putting it down. And then I want to use this Amy Tan wood veneer, and I also want to color it. I really, like I said, wanted this layout to have a definite like Star Trek feel, but without the kitsch, without it being like kitschy Star Trek. And so I think I really did do that by altering this wood veneer. It kind of has the same kind of chevron-y look as the little Star Trek logo. And here you'll see me, I've done my journaling while my wood veneer was drying, and I'm just going to map my journaling. And then I'm going to add some black washi tape and that wood veneer piece. And you'll notice here that my journaling is covering the photos. So I covered up some dark places in the photos because, like I said, for me, the important part of this layout is the journaling and then the ephemera tickets, not so much the photos. And so I wanted the photos to kind of maybe go into the backgrounds a little bit and almost be more of like a layer behind the important parts of the layout, what the important parts were for me. So I'm taking this washi that I snuck into my kit, and I'm going to go ahead and use it in 3 different places. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pop dots behind my journaling. Now, I did initially kind of put that glue, the washi tape over my journaling, but then I changed that up a little bit because I decided I want to put the wood veneer kind of underneath and peeking out. And I'm just gluing that dream down a little bit more because it insisted that it wanted to curl up on me. And it did dry overnight, and it's pretty good now, like when I snapped photos. But it did take a lot of glue, and it took a lot of finesse to like ever so gently get that dream down. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to slip this wood veneer piece behind my journaling. And I'm just going to glue it down with some pop dots. Very easy, but again, that little bit of more of that chevron pattern and the wood veneer really helps the layout, I think. Now, the last step is super simple. I'm just going to grab some of these really cool glittery blue enamel dots from my kit. They are the exact blue that is actually in that middle photo with the Star Trek, so it matches perfectly. And I forgot to mention the name of the shimmer spray that I put on to the wood veneer is Mama Sings the Blues. It's this really nice, pretty medium navy. I just got it. I can't wait to play with it some more as this week goes on. So I'm just sprinkling the enamel dots around, and then I'm going to take my black Muji pen, and I'm going to just do a little bit of doodling and give it kind of like a border or an edge. So again, this layout is pretty simple, but it did take some thought on my part. And so I hope that next time you have some photos that maybe aren't the best, but you have a good story and you have some ephemera, or maybe if the subject of the photos is one that, you don't really find a lot of nice scrapbook products to go with it, you'll consider doing something like this with just pulling some colors and some geometric patterns and creating your layout that way. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Sunday with the new kit reveal, the For Love of Homemade Kits reveal, and bye!